power line to convey a certain brilliance, a telephone line to carry a voice, a metro line to bring us all downtown. Lines of connection, communication, not the borders of boundaries that slice and dice a nation. Divided by the chalk lines of disreputable history, past failures all laid out as we struck with absent mystery. Those bodies left behind us while we amble on ahead, fearful of the wrong things from newspapers unread. Before I tell you what to do, or you try to tell me, let's all see what's been done and where we could have been. By knowing what's before us, the path might clear ahead and focus on new obstacles uncharted by the dead. Power line from a gurgling turbine, a telephone line from a quiet room, a metro line from across the city. Maybe we'll all raise our glasses soon. They say across the fence line the grass is always verdurous, but we're not corralling cattle, fearing rainbows, foul murders. When we look out past dividers, we're unsurprised to see more folks erecting fences, becoming detainees. Before I worry about you or you worry about me, let's all dwell on ourselves, we're the private enemy. Becoming who we're meant to, virtuous and creative, we won't dread the different, the strange or unrelated. A power line to convey certain brilliance, a telephone line to carry a voice, a metro line to bring us all, to bring us home.
The summer is past, but your days keep growing longer. There's no wind in your sails, but the storm's blowing stronger. Walking hard, standing tall, keeping your head up through it all. Fighting fires, spinning plates. Goodness, how did it get so late? Down and dream. Lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down and dream. Lay your head down is filmed before a live streaming audience.
That's us. Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee, and tonight y'all are my live streaming audience. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see, we got lots of folks in multiple chats today. In the YouTube chat, we've got Iconic Anemone and Kitty Kitty, Corundum Cat, Freya. Welcome, one and all. In the Discord, we've got Yermungander. We got Glass Parkway, Bear33, Toxic Glitter, NJCoffeeJunkie. He's actually here on voice, too. Say howdy, NJ.
Howdy, NJ.
Woo, hi. I might need to, okay, I'm going to tweak some volume settings. We didn't do a sound check. Okay, try again now.
Hi.
Okay, I think we're about closer to being the same there. Also, welcome to people in the Twitch chat. We got Vin Show Ken, Goofy Grammy, Mini Zoekins, 21 Bajurnkerin Television, Nom Master, Ari Light, Zoe MQB, Pineapple, Paige Marin Chuck, Mellow Moogle. We've got KZ Droned. We've got Chaotic Llama as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so let's see. If we want to really get in here and not be completely overwhelmed with all of these overlays, we got to explain what we're doing. We got to post the tipping link. We got to greet everybody. We got to get through the stream setup phase. So, a few things. Okay. If you've never seen a Joe Hill stream before, this is a weird one. If you're already familiar with my episodes, you know that I make a lot of behind-the-scenes recordings for the episodes during the streams, maybe. You might not know that I also try to do as much as I can of my, long-term, business and artistic planning behind the scenes on stream, too. I feel like that's cool for people to get to see how stuff gets made and encourage them to go, wow, if that guy can muddle through, man, maybe I should be trying to be, making stuff and doing things. That's one of the reasons Billy Joel has so many songs about people around him wanting to pursue the arts. Because they're like, boy, if that chucklehead could do it, I bet I could too. So, here we go. Let's get everybody desensitized to the idea that you could fail. Because sometimes you fail upwards anyway. Let's go. Okay. Vin Shoken says, I love the design of this room. I don't think I've seen it. Ethereal, cool tones, and cool floor. Yeah, I decided to mix in the glow lichen with the iron ore. We've got our pale oak door. We've got a skylight. We've got a bed. Now, this bed has a very special feature.
It has a footboard. Oh, you brought it back.
If only. I am not Victor Frankenstein. I cannot simply give life anytime I please. The most amazing and fantastic, the most toxic of all glitters, has indeed blessed us with the beautiful return of the Only at Night expanding bed text mod. It's been a few versions since Toxic had time to get back to this, and so I was very excited. This is what I was trying to test this morning. Vin Shoken says, Only at Night intensifies. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Outstanding.
Yeah. So, because remember earlier when I said we already had enough text on screen? Misdirection.
Nah.
Okay, so. Yeah.
I do appreciate the purple. Very, very, well, it's on brand for me, so
yeah,
I'm amused.
Well, for me, when I designed this space to be, basically I was like, which of the buildings around here could I just slap a roof on and put a floor in, and then we'd have space to put in on all our sides? Which building is large enough? This building's large enough, but it already has a purpose. That building over there, no allocated purpose. So, in we go. Boom. Also, NJ, did you see the sign I made outside? It says, don't open, planning inside.
Don't planning, open inside. Got it.
I think something along those lines, yes. Mini Zoekin says, Joe is the B-dubs of floor design. Thanks, I think. Okay. So, anyway, we have multiple columns here. Each column represents a month of 2025. Now, we're primarily focusing on discussing June, July, and August. during this conversation. However, there's some stuff that we talk about where I might be like, oh, actually, let's try and get that done this month. We still got 11 days left in May. Or some stuff where I'm like, ooh, actually, that reminds me of something in early September. Let's get that on the board. So even though we have all these other columns here, we're really going to kind of come back to the September, October, November things, probably in early September. That's the rough plan there. After my kid's back at school, we'll see how we want to close out the last quarter.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Okay. So let's look at this.
Let's rock and roll.
We talked about the columns. Columns are months. The rows, we've got celebrate, benefit, build, try, and then meetups and misc. Because a lot of months don't have meetups, and a lot of months don't have misc, and I realized I didn't want to make this building taller. So,
and we can't misc the misc.
No. You know, Misc was one of the most popular CD-ROM games ever made. I never played it though. Maybe we should do a stream. I heard it has like some complex cryptography puzzles though that would be infuriating for people to watch me try to solve on stream. So we have not done. Yeah, Resin, the sequel to Misc. Yeah, Kindlelist knows what we're talking about. Anyway, so we've got celebrate, benefit, build, try, and meetups and misc. Now, I'm going to be honest. Benefit, at this point, we're not going to have a lot of stuff to talk about publicly because we're trying to get some stuff locked down for next year. We can't announce anything yet about Gamers Outreach, but like...
Yeah, it's too soon.
One of the things we found out this year was a lot of the partners we had for the event were like, man, if you guys had warned us like 9 months earlier, we could have gone way bigger. So we're trying to make decisions and get stuff sorted so we can go bigger and better next year on a few things. Like normally I would try to do at least one charity stream a month, but realistically, some of that time has been reallocated into behind the scenes planning and coordination for that event. So even though these boards might end up more empty, it's not because we're not thinking about it. But like also, NJ, you do have like an event coming up toward the end of the summer, right? That you do every year?
Yeah. Before I mention that, it's good to space out the different charity events that you want to do. Like the ones that I do are usually 2 to 3 months apart. Yeah. To prevent donor fatigue.
Yeah, nobody likes it when somebody's constantly spamming tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat.
That is a different story.
But
links are in the chats, people.
Yeah, also, this is a paid role for NJ, and it would be really great if I at least broke even on this stream tonight. So, yeah, tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat.
Okay. To answer your question, yes. So, the original charity event that I was going to do on my birthday was pretty much canceled because it was either that or do my final paper for school. Did my final paper. So I had to postpone that. So I have 2 events coming up before the end of the year that are definite. One is August 16th. That is going to be for American Heart Association. And then the other is October 27th.
Wait. When you say a date, you've got the live screen share, so you can tell if I've stopped poking my mustache and have started typing. August 16th, AHAW/NJ. So August 16th, American Heart Association with NJ.
Yes.
Okay. Then
I'll have the times for that later.
And then you said October
27th. It's my Twitch anniversary. I always do a fundraiser for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
LLS. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna say I'm less able to commit to stuff that close to Halloween, but I'll see if I might be poking in earlier in the day or whatever. I might not be able to do that night.
Not a worry. You've got it on your calendar. What you can do, you can do. No worries.
Okay. So, okay, so we've got something in August and something in October, and I'm already, like I said, spending some time behind the scenes, working to coordinate other things. I already let Travis from Child's Play know, because some of you guys know this, some of you guys don't. Travis from Child's Play, he was a guest on the show before. He actually was in studio here with his 2 kids watching us play with the green screen stuff. They got to play with it before the show, but like for obvious reasons, people don't want their kids like on Twitch. But yeah, they were playing with the green screen, all of them, before we went live. So yeah, Travis Erickson, executive director of Child's Play, great guy, friend of the show, but also friend of Gamers Outreach. He's the one that hooked us up with the mechanized robot car. What we call Mecha Scar or Robo Scar. He's the one that loaned that to Gamers Outreach. And when there were some technical issues with it going into the day before, like he was on the phone with me working through it. And so I told him, I was like, hey man, you know I always say, if there's anything you guys need, let me know. I want to jump in where you guys need me, where it makes sense. A lot of their stuff is based out of Seattle though. And like a lot of their live events and stuff. So it's hard to justify like where I fit in that stuff since I'm not in Seattle. But if there's anything that he calls up about, we're going to be slapping that on this board too. So that it just so you're aware, there is an open invite to him. Hey, if you have somebody fall through for an event and you need a last minute replacement, call me up, and if I physically can do it, I'm going to do it. So
that sounds delightful.
So you've been warned.
Do something like that.
You have been warned that like I don't want you going, dang it, Joe, don't tell people stuff like that unless you're actually like warn me, because that can be disruptive to your schedule, which I help you manage. So there you go. There's the warning.
Warning received.
Yeah. So there's also kind of a vague, like, also anytime Child's Play wants to call in that favor, like if I'm not like already absolutely locked into what I'm doing that day, I'm dropping everything for them. So yeah,
that is more than fair. I actually reached out to Gamers Outreach to see if I could volunteer at some point.
Okay, cool. So let's move on. So
let's keep focused.
Yeah. In terms of like holiday stuff on the Celebrate line, like October, we always try to celebrate Halloween stuff. I'm putting this up here, even though October's kind of out of scope, because I didn't get to do Halloween builds last year, and I'm gonna do them this year.
You better go. Yeah. All out the way that you want to make up for last year.
So we're definitely going to be getting some Halloween stuff in this year.
Yep.
Okay.
I see your birthday is up there.
Yeah, I put my birthday up there. I feel like I need to be looking for. This is one of those research tasks I need to schedule relatively soon. One of the problems I'm running into when I'm researching exhibit ideas for inside the museum is I'm so excited about so many of the ideas that I'm like, well, I don't know which one of these is obvious to put in first or second, or like, but if it was one of them, like, oh, hey, on this day in August, Carl Yansky discovered radio astronomy, right? Like, okay, well, let's maybe try to have that episode come out on that day, right? Let's see, when did he actually discover radio astronomy? Bum bum bum. It was in September, and he announced it in April. He announced his results in April, and it was in the New York Times later in May. In October 1933, it was published as a journal article in the Proceedings of the Institute of Radio Engineers. Honestly, okay, so that's a bad example. But if it was one of those...
pull it back.
If it fell neatly into, like, on May 24th, he discovered this, I'd be like, well, that's great, because that's next week, so let's just go get that. Let's move that one to the top of the queue and just get that episode out the door, right? But yeah. So this is kind of under build. We've got multiple things to build. We have...
All right, let's put them down on, let's get them down on these signs.
We have exhibits.
Okay.
We need by the end of May, I think we need at least 2 exhibits.
Okay. Close enough.
Yeah. Greater than 2 exhibits.
Yes.
I've spent like most of the afternoon doing the math on graph paper to finally lock down the water tower. I feel like
Nice. Okay.
I feel like we need the water tower. And in fact, I almost want to get the skeleton of the water tower in, or the base of the water tower in, by the beginning of the next episode. But that might be too ambitious. That might need to be its own whole episode.
Possibly.
Or that might need to tie into something. Okay. So, other stuff we need to do is land claim office. And welcome center. This is a lot for the next 11 days. But
let's be realistic.
Well, here's the thing, though, is each of these things... Well, yeah, that's the thing, is like the hardest part about the land claim center is finishing out these maps. So it's like, I already had to spend all this time making a cow farm and making all the farms to get the maps. Now I just need to go fly over the stuff. The reason that I haven't bothered flying over the stuff out here yet is because I haven't actually built out anything over here. Like, the water tower actually goes out here, right?
Okay.
So,
so, suggestion.
Yeah.
Build the stuff, then fly over it.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I need to move the water tower up.
Oh, no, wait. Oh, I'm the other way around. Fly over, set up the maps, and then build.
Yeah. So
or is that going to mess everything up because you have to fly over
then I have
to update the map?
Yeah, I have to fly back over them to update the maps, is the thing.
Got it.
And so I'm like, if I can...
Yes, hard luck.
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing Q3 today. So the thing is, I think I've got the water tower math down. Like, and when I say math, it's like... Oh, let me make sure I don't, like, have a doctor's phone number on this or something.
Well,
why did I write Best in Show and Wish Knife?
Because you really like Christopher Guest movies?
I don't know, but anyway, so I've been working on this occult symbol / water tower diagram. I've got all this math on here, and also notes that say Wish Knife and Best in Show. And I'm not sure why I wrote either of those. The thing is, okay.
I don't go spelunking between your ears, so I can't answer that for you.
I don't know. Well, the thing is, I feel like... So the thing is, when I find a page that was half used in a notebook, like before I go start a new one, I try to be like, oh, do I have any pages that are like half empty? And then I'm like, oh, this one's half empty. Let me just use this. And then I'm like, oh, I didn't even look at the top of this. What does this say? Wish Knife Best in Show. Okay. So
I'm shaking my head as we're moving on.
Yeah. We're moving on.
This doesn't surprise me.
We're moving on. But core concept. So I spent like 2 hours today just working out all these different geometric things because there's not really good dimensions of the water tower explicitly listed anywhere, but there's a lot of places you can infer the dimensions of the water tower and then do math. So I was like, there's all this math I don't want to do on stream. I know the process to figure out exactly how tall this tower is, how tall the parts of it are, how far apart the poles are, the exact shape of the poles. I actually built a mock-up of this tower before the season started in the on the HermitCraft creative server, the brainstorming server, and it turned out so badly. That was one of the reasons I was like, I'll come back to this later. So it's well, because I was just kind of freehanding it, and it turns out freehanding geometric, like freehanding radial symmetry isn't the best idea.
No.
So yeah. So the thing is, like the water tower, I built a mock-up a year ago, and I figured out that my initial math was wrong. I did all new math. And so I have the experience now from both the initial mock-up and the new math. I feel like I could knock out that water tower if I just used full blocks for it and built it out of, like, snow or something,
Ooh.
I could have it completely done in maybe 2 hours. Like, that's maybe one morning stream.
Yeah,
And
that's what Camilla suggested.
yeah. And so, yeah, the Welcome Center and the Land Claim Office are both kind of half done at this point, but they could be far enough along that I could put up a sign like the Omaha airport has that says "Pardon our progress," which
Mm-hmm. I've
that
seen those signs before.
yeah, I hadn't. I was just like, wow, that's something.
Wait. You've never seen a pardon our progress sign before?
No, I've seen "Pardon our dust,"
Huh.
but I've never seen "Pardon our progress," and I was just like, oh wow, that's
I see that sometimes in supermarkets.
what?
I'm pretty sure
In
it
a
is.
supermarket? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I've never been in so around here when a supermarket is getting renovated, they usually just close the entire thing for a month and a half and then fire everybody and then try to hire people back for like way less because they're like, "Oh, you don't have seniority anymore." I'm serious. It's not good. Yeah.
No. The pardon our progress is usually when they're doing just like a major remodel, or like they're reconfiguring where everything is, so then they're dosey-doing all the products. It's just like, oh, pardon our progress, we move this over here, or this'll be over in this aisle instead, or something like that.
Oh no.
Yeah, I've seen it.
They don't move supermarket stuff here unless they're like completely renovating the store and then they shut down so they can fire everybody.
No, that
It's
doesn't
not
happen
great.
like that here.
Well,
Apparently not. No.
yeah. Okay. So
Anyway, we're getting
we're
off
wildly
track.
off track.
Yeah. So it was suggested to have the tower be a stream, since you have a better idea of how.
Yeah, I feel like it's
when
almost
the math is better mathing.
yeah, it's not quite something that I could do on a Frankenstein stream, but it is
No.
yeah, it is something that I could do
Something you
pretty
need to fun.
easily because it's all basically one material as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I was originally going to make it out of quartz, which is the
Yeah.
only possible holdup that I might have to go buy or I might have to obtain quartz.
That's gonna be tough. Doesn't Impulse sell quartz?
He does. I need to yeah, maybe. Okay. So anyway,
Yeah, so you have 11 days to finish all of
Yeah.
that. Is that feasible and reasonable?
I honestly don't know. It might be. The big thing is like these are all things where I feel like I've gotten them all 75 to 80%. And like maybe I can nudge them all off across the finish line, maybe I can't, but like I need to at least try cuz it's kind of like there's all sorts of weird things with these buildings where it's just like, okay, stuff just looks like 800 times better now because I actually sat there for 2 hours and fixed these corners, right? And I took months of just like, oh, same thing with the cafeteria. Like, I need to just go put a roof on the cafeteria, but I haven't, like, made it a priority, so it just hasn't gotten done. Roof on the cafeteria is not on that list, but probably needs to go in for June.
And I'm watching this and I'm wondering why I can't see your face, because I'm watching the Discord feed.
The Discord feed
other
is sharing the Minecraft game, not all the overlays.
Yeah, I know. I realize that.
It's so you can see the text on the signs.
I know, and I do.
Okay. But yeah. So build. I'm gonna put cafeteria roof patio.
Ah, there you are.
Okay. So cafeteria roof can go in. We want world tour stream. I put this on the we want that in early June ideally.
Okay.
Okay. So welcome Nola. Welcome Yellerfish. Okay. Oh, Yeah, so I'm just gonna put on here Geo follow-up. Speaking of Gamers Outreach follow-up, they are still working on getting all of the auction items shipped. Like, that is a huge process.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
yeah, they
There
sent us
were
some
a number of
updates.
different
Yeah,
things.
because a bunch of people were like, "Hey, I haven't
I
gotten my
know.
thing yet," and it's like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
because they have like a room with like 400 items, and they have to verify that everyone's getting the proper ones and a bunch of other things. And
hmm
yeah, they're not like a fulfillment company. They're a nonprofit that is like having their staff ship all these things.
hmm
So
Yeah, it's not going to be an overnight
it's
thing.
not.
People need to be patient.
They are working on it. But
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So more exhibits. Is going to be the big thing. B-Dub's connector is going to have to be June. Like, connecting path. Like, we've done a lot of the groundwork to get this connected to B-Dubs' area, but realistically, we're not going to have this path 100% complete before it's time for the grand opening. Ideally, I want to try and do the grand opening when we do the big server tour in early June. So that gets a date set.
Okay, that's reasonable.
And all that. But so depending on how early in June, if it's like the first weekend in June or the second weekend in June, that extra week to connect everything, I can use that time pretty aggressively.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm trying to figure out how much also I need to get done of the main building to do this proper curator intro video. I've made a ton of progress on the roofs, but like I think I'm maybe getting fixated on the wrong things there. What I probably need to do is just make those 2 exhibits for the curator video. And Jay, were you there when I was talking about the rough brainstorming for this curator video?
When was that? This morning?
It was probably a few days ago. You might have been there, you might not have been. But the core concept is
Probably not.
yeah, making a video.
Apologies.
And this is going to be a pain to edit. But making a video where the Beetlejuice comes out from one side and the unhanded Juppet comes out from the other. We've got the skins made for that now. But I feel like I need to have at least one basic exhibit on each side of the museum to demonstrate, like, or I was like, maybe I could get each of their offices built or something. And I'm like, each of those offices needs like a certain level of attention to detail and stuff that it's hard to just do quickly. Like, I was thinking I could have something where we were trying to work on, like, I was thinking almost something maybe where they're like both moving into their offices, where I've got like a bunch of shulkers lying around. But like the thing with that is that doesn't really work if I don't have the roofs in at least or something. So, which I don't have the roofs in, which is one of the reasons I've been rushing on the roofs, but I'm like, maybe I'll move the office locations. I don't know. So I feel like I'm getting hung up on the wrong things there.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay. We've got... So, core concept, in June, we've got a bunch of stuff to do. Both this month and next month, I need to go really hard on doing as many streams as possible to try and hit our quarterly tax goal. Because it's going to be very tight. It was very tight last time. And that was a 3-month quarter. So this 4-month quarter.
This is a 4-month quarter.
Or no, this is a 2-month quarter. Sorry.
Oh, this is that's right.
This is the 2-month quarter, so it's gonna be super tight. So Yeah, so I'm gonna have to try and cram in as many streams as I can. I don't think I'm gonna have any opportunities to do any other major opportunities to generate revenue. There's not really any freelance stuff that's been coming my way. Doing anything like this tariff situation. I know I kept saying, guys, like, oh, once everything stabilizes after the wedding, it'll be a great time for me to spin up a merch store. But this tariff
And then the
situation
tariff.
has massively lowered my confidence in doing anything with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really. Yeah, the problem is,
know, it's
another thing I really need to do is I need to be saving money by setting up these rack mounted servers.
Okay. Let's
But I
let's
can't do that until we're clear of the 15th of next month at least, because I need to know that I covered my expenses there on the taxes. So
and that's June 15th, right?
Yeah. So server.
Okay. So why don't we set it for July?
Yeah.
So, because I know you're going to want to do research and figure out what the best options are. Give yourself time. You've got other stuff you have to focus on at first.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I was originally going to try and do some other tests with the servers just from on premises, but we've been having so many storm-related internet outages here that it would be impossible to do a fair test, which is driving me nuts.
I've heard a lot about what's been going on down your way, and it ain't pretty.
Yeah. So
so that makes sense.
So yeah, we need to get back into the server rack stuff because we're burning money and we're losing opportunities for, like, it's such a better solution. We just need time and money to, like, make the jump, and we don't have the breathing room to do it. And that's not just a scheduling thing. That's more of a, like, it's gonna have there's enough it's more the startup capital than the time, where it's like, I don't have time to do it because I'm streaming so much to try to generate the capital to pay for it. But if I had the capital to pay for it, I could easily just skip a few streams and we'd have it done. Like, so I feel like it's both time and money, but it's really only money.
Okay, so we're starting a circle here. So, what is the time frame that you are comfortable with, given what's in front of you?
Yeah.
For where can that be put to get it done? Is putting it in June going to be feasible with the other stuff you have going on that takes priority? Are you going to be able to tack that on and get it done?
Well, if we're ahead financially, then I should, because we'll end up saving so much money every month after the initial startup cost. Like, it should have been done 12 months ago, and then it should have been done 11 months ago, and then it's one of those things, like, basically, this needs to be a super high priority.
Okay, so basically, this is the can that shouldn't be kicked.
It obviously must be kicked if we don't have the money to do it, but, like, it's one of those things where, like, it's such a clear win if we can actually just get it done. Like, I'm going to be mad at myself as soon as I get it done. I'm going to be so mad I didn't get it done earlier. Like, it's one of those. Like, it's one of those things where I'm going to be like, wow, this is so much better. Why didn't I do, like, something else to make this happen?
Okay, so let's keep it with June for now.
Yeah.
And let's check in during one of our weekly calls in, like, maybe 3 weeks.
It would be better to do it over the summer, because if there's random problems where I have to drive to a co-location center to deal with server stuff, I don't want to be dealing with my kid's school schedule at the same time.
Okay, so let's set a goal for this, to have it, to do what we can outside of the financial side
Yeah.
to have this done and set up by the end of the summer.
I mean, it's
That could be
literally
the
only
hard
the
thing.
financial side. It's like,
Well, you said something about going to, like, a co-location. That's why
yeah,
you
I
had
mean,
me a little
well, but that's
you have
like
me a little
going to
stunned.
that's like complaining. That's like me saying, oh, if I'm gonna have to make extra trips to the post office, it's easier to do it in the summer. It's not like I have to make extra trips to Seattle. It's
Hmm.
like they're I would be using a Nashville data center.
Okay,
I'm
I
just
see,
saying if I'm gonna be
I don't
driving,
know.
yeah, okay, yeah. If I'm gonna be driving around town to deal with issues, it's easier to not have to be like, and I gotta get back to pick up my kid from school. Drubaka says, how much do you need to raise? Maybe make a Jovent or some sort to help raise cash. The problem is, we have to pay the quarterly taxes first, and we have to pay the rent and the health insurance, and like basically we've got. And my mouth has been hurting for months, but like because I don't even know if I can pay for that, I've been kind of just hoping that'll go away. Like it's one of those things. Like it's not just like, oh boy, I need $1,000 to do this data center thing. I'm kind of like
Oh, that's
I'm worried about like everything. Like what I'm saying is we need to get breathing room and the money to pay for it. Like cuz the problem is, I was saying like, oh, if we had the money to pay for it, then I could skip a few streams, but that's assuming that I've already got the quarterly taxes and the medical stuff, and like sooner or later I am going to have to go to the dentist, but like it would be financially ruinous right now to do that, so I'm not gonna. Because like I keep thinking like if I just hold out, like eventually we'll get a little bit of extra money from the TCG overstock sale, or maybe there'll be another like random thing I get invited to, like that Lord of the Rings game that we played where I got a nice check for that. But like
yeah.
I'm basically holding out for stuff that I don't know if it's gonna happen or not. But yeah, it would feel disingenuous to doing something extra to raise the money for capital improvement. Well, that's what I'm thinking. That's the problem though, is I can't. I feel like I can't I can't do some sort of event to raise money for the capital improvement if I'm going to have to spend that money on rent instead of the capital improvement. I need to clear the bar for rent with enough lead time to, you know what I mean? Like we're just barely breaking even on everything. And so like that's the other thing too, is let's say that we have this event and a bunch of people give me money for the capital improvement, but then nobody tips for the rest of the month because they all gave earlier, then I don't make rent and then we're screwed. Like we basically have burned through all of my savings and have no wiggle room on anything at this point. And so it's a little stressful. And I haven't figured out like that my original plan for dealing with this was going to be to do a merch launch, but with the tariff thing that ended up completely like just wrecked. And so I don't know. There's a few other projects that I'm involved with that might at some point generate a check for me. And that's the other thing too, is like all of those projects have been delayed. And so I could hear back from them next week and they're like, hey, good news, we're back on track and you can expect something by mid-July. Or they could say, you know what, it'll be January. Or they could say, well, actually, we had to wind this down. This isn't feasible at all. So, like, that's the other thing, too, is like, I was kind of counting on a couple of things to go through earlier that now might not go through at all. And so, basically, all of my projections were wildly flawed. And I don't feel bad about this personally, because, like, especially this weekend at the graduation, talking to people who work in many, many different industries, everybody's projections for everything have been completely screwed up for the last 6 months. Nobody can accurately project anything, and it's just there's too many things changing too quickly. And so I'm just like, I guess I'll just keep rolling with the punches, you know? So I'm kind of just rolling with the punches, but, you know, like, it's really hard. I don't know. So I'm kind of at this point like, well, the best thing I can do is just try to show up and make good videos and do good streams and hope it works out. Because everything else that I've attempted has somehow died on the vine or is in indefinite stasis, like different side things that I can't talk about publicly. And so it's not like, oh, I tried nothing and failed. It's, I've tried a lot of things, and who knows, they might still work out in 2 months. But I don't know. So, yeah.
Current things have caused your progress to halt, and you're stymied a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot
Okay.
of it. Okay, but
Well, hold on 1 second. Let me do a quick
yeah, please do.
quick refresh. So I got 2 tips rolling in from Toxic Glitter, both for 20. That's 2 face camera expansion milestones. Sorry that PayPal didn't give me the alert, but the first one says for various things, and the second one says rent event and R event. Like, when you say rent, do you mean like 525,600 minutes? 525,000 moments, oh dear. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? We don't have a license for any of this song, so gotta change the lyrics to parody sing-alongs. If it's not a mockery of the original, I'm screwed, 'cause I can't afford this license, it's true. Yeah. Okay, either way, that's 2 face camera expansion milestones incoming. Wait, where's my numbers for today? Oh my gosh. I can't even find the papers that I was... Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, we were 2 face camera expansion milestones away from the entrance of the Jost, so here's the first one. Expand Jost. Do. And for the next one... Y'all have seen that money go straight to my head. Now, like Jacob Marley, these chains I forged in life are about to begin pulling us down to the deep below. Enter the Jost. Ba 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 ba. Why isn't it actually changing? There it is. Slider wasn't working. Now it is. So there we go.
Fabulous.
Yes. So I could call it Joe Yodathon. Oh, one of my friends, like, he loves to complain loudly at in December. It's like if we're like leaving a store or something. I can't believe that she wished me a happy Honda days. We're a Toyotathon family.
Nice.
So yeah. Okay. So
right. Where were we?
Okay, we got another tip real quick rolling in. Thank you very much to Raymond. That's gonna get us another 2.5 face camera expansion milestones. Here we go. It's time to expand Jost. Da 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 da. Lowering the Joe Pasty now to 80%. And then numero dos, even larger Jost. La da da da. And lowering the Joe Pasty now to 70%. Bum 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 bada bum bada bum. Okay. So where were we? That puts us now 10 away from the next expansion milestone. Okay, so
we were going month by month. There are basically 11 days left. We don't have any meetups, or you don't have any meetups.
No, there's no meetups in June either.
And no parades. Are there any parades coming up?
There's one in like early September. So
okay, that's like the next one in September?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because somebody moved theirs. Because the thing is, the other parades started before this over the summer, so they're like we don't do the same holiday twice.
Kindless says that the Theater Kids group has theirs in June.
Oh, is it?
Do you remember the date, Kindless?
Did I put that on a calendar?
Possibly.
Mm,
I don't know if we covered June.
where's the Theater Kids chat?
Yeah, I don't see anything in activity signups. Crud, where would we find that?
Well, we have a spreadsheet with a list of those somewhere.
We do.
Hey, we got another tip rolling in from Drew Baca, who says, Merry Joe Yodathon. None of these Jonda days here. Thank you very much. That is good to get us 3 face camera expansion milestones. So here we go. Please direct your attention to my face because we're about to expand Jost. Da-da-da-da. Lowering the Joe Pasty now to 60%. It's the Joni Stark helmet cam. At this point, the camera can't get any bigger. I mean, it'll keep getting larger, but it's already covering the whole screen. It will keep reducing in Joe Pasty each time we hit one of those expansion milestones. So here we go. It's time to expand Jost. Dee-dee-dee-dee. And we are going to lower the Joe Pasty now to 50%. And then numero trace. Even larger face. La-da-da-da. And we are going to drop the Joe Pasty now to 42%. La-da-da-da. Okay.
The answer to everything. So, okay, so put down June 8th for the Theater Kids Parade. Theme is Tony Awards.
Well, wait. Do we contact... Did they say we want... The Tonys are on June 8th, we want our parade before then? Or are you saying June 8th is the parade?
I'm just going by the date you listed. Maybe that's just the ceremony or the award show.
Yeah, the award show is on June 8th, so we need to get a calendar out, and we need to sort this right now.
Yep. Okay, I think I have to break out your calendar too. Hold on.
Calendar.com. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Well, so here's the problem with that is that the 7th and the 8th are both possible days for the HermitCraft World Tour. So maybe we try May 31st, and that's about a week before. Oh wait, no, that May 31st doesn't work for me.
What about June 21st, June 14th, 21st, or 22nd?
Well, those are still after the awards.
Oh, you wanted it before?
Ideally, if we're going to have a Christmas parade, we don't want to do it January 6th.
What about June 1st?
Possibly the HermitCraft World Tour.
I thought you said that was the 7th or 8th.
1st, 7th, or 8th is the 3 dates that are being considered.
Oh.
So I'll find out on Thursday. Okay, how about we come back? We say we need to find out when the HermitCraft World Tour is on Thursday, and then based on that. So if World Tour ends up being June 1st, we'll do Theater Kids the 7th or 8th, or vice versa.
Okay.
Toddy says it can be after the actual event. That's good to know, but it's not my preference.
Okay. Mantua Maker posted the ongoing parade list. So apparently Ziggurat was supposed to do Earth Day this month.
Didn't we do that?
I thought you did.
Yeah, we did the Ziggurat.
That was on...
Yeah, we already did that one.
Hold on, I'm looking for when that was.
Well, we don't care when that was. We're worried about the future. That's not later in May. That already happened. That one's done. Like,
okay. Yeah, Theater Kids, then Iron Islands, and then
when do you have Iron Islands?
It says July.
Okay, what's the holiday?
Canada Day.
Okay, when is that actually though?
There's no date given.
Okay.
According to Mantua Maker, but in our list,
do we carry it every day in our hearts, or is there like a specific day that they usually celebrate it?
July 1st. So July 1st, and then Noir is the weekend before Labor Day.
Okay.
All right, let me go back to...
Oh my gosh, why is this not letting me type Canada Day Parade?
Thank you, Mantua Maker and Kindless.
And then, so you said it was Iron Islands was Canada Day. Who'd you say was Labor Day?
Noir.
Okay.
September.
Okay.
Yeah, the weekend before Labor Day.
Cool.
Okay, cool.
So
Cool,
yeah,
cool,
we need to actually sort out. So Play on Con is July 3rd through 6th.
Yep.
So if people
So
are going to
that's
be
on your
traveling, we're probably going to end up wanting to do the Canada Day parade toward the end of June. Let's look at potential dates for that right now.
End of June
Like
is
maybe June 28th.
28th is a Saturday, 29th is a Sunday.
Yeah, okay. And which would be worse for people who actually want to celebrate Canada Day?
I would recommend putting that in wherever you do the parade questions.
Well, I'm just
To let
putting it
them
in the
answer
town
it.
Iron Islands.
Yeah, that's fine.
Saturday, June 28th. Or Sunday, June 29th. Okay. Yeah, so we'll come back to the theater kids, or yeah, we'll come back to the theater kids after Thursday.
Okay. Once you get the date of what you're gonna do, then that'll be good, because then you can ask them. Because I think the 31st, even though it might be feasible, if that's not when the tour is or whatever, that's going to be too short notice for everyone to do their gathering and stuff.
Well, it's not going to be May 31st.
Oh, okay. I thought
Wait,
that was on your list. Never mind.
No. So
Never mind.
The Thursday the 22nd, I'll find out when the HermitCraft.
Oh no, of May. Got it.
May.
I'm with you,
like 3 days from now. I'm trying to get this world tour scheduled.
Yeah.
And so then that would give us some time. That would give everybody at least 10 days. Okay. So. Okay. Cool. Alrighty, have a good night, Abel.
Night.
Okay, so looking at this.
Okay.
So we've got Play on Con in early July. We've got my birthday. We've got the Iron Islands. We've got Canada Day. It's actually Badger's birthday as well.
Yes.
Like 3 days after mine. So
yes,
we're going to have a few birthdays. So that's going to be a busy end of the month. Mr. Hardluck tips 20 and says, if it hadn't been for Giant Eye Joe, I'd have been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Giant Eye Joe. So that's going to get us evenly to our next face camera expansion milestone. Please direct your attention to my face, because we're about to expand Jost. And we are going to lower the Joe pasty now. Let's see, we were at 42, so now we're at 32%. Brr, that is Fahrenheit, not Celsius.
Okay.
So July, I don't have any major charity stuff planned, but we got the thing in August. In terms of building stuff in July, like, we are still gonna have tons of stuff just generally around the Holmdel project. Like, this whole thing is designed to just take months. Like, even once it's quote-unquote finished, populating it will take months. And coordinating with people and doing stuff. So, like, it's going to be more Holmdel. And that's probably going to be the case for every month. Like, there'll be some other stuff that comes up, probably, but I've spent so much time on other people's projects, like this TCG thing, and stuff, like, yeah. So, in terms of builds, we've got enough stuff to do around here, and we've got signs indicating that we don't need to get in the weeds on that.
Yeah.
Okay. In terms of experimentation and trying things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have
I
all
mean,
this stuff.
we are going
Okay.
to be doing extra streams. That's definitely going on there. We're going to be doing
Mm-hmm.
more streams because in order to get all of this stuff built out in time for the welcome ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
started like I'm going to be doing more afternoon streams and just trying to get everything put together. Also, like from a quarterly tax standpoint, that's the only way this is going to end up working.
Okay. Uh,
So yeah.
do you have a date by which you want to have the opening
Well,
set by?
well that was the world tour date that I'm trying to get scheduled.
Oh.
So the idea is that when we swing by here, I'll be like, and here's where you guys can sign up for slots if you want plots. So
Oh,
so
gotcha.
that's either
Okay,
the 1st,
so
7th, or 8th probably.
I am going to hope that it is the 7th to give you more time.
Well, I mean, honestly though, like so for this building here, even if we don't have a
Yeah.
roof on it, you know, it would probably take me 2 hours to fill out the rest of the maps and then another 2 hours to get the banners in.
Okay.
Like, I could, if the grand opening was this Saturday, I could get this map completely finished with all the banners.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's not this Saturday. We've got at least, what would that be? Hold on. Today is the 19th. So we've got basically,
2
between
weeks.
now and the 1st, we've got 14 days.
Yeah, 2
So
weeks.
if I do some extra afternoon streams, and whatnot, like, yeah, I feel like we're generally in okay shape.
Okay.
Okay.
Because if you've felt like some stuff needed to be shifted around to make room,
I mean,
that's what this is for.
I mean, I've shifted everything else. This is
True.
yeah, everything that's necessary for the world tour is what's on the between now and the end of the month build list.
Okay.
Basically, is where
All right,
we're
good.
at.
Okay. Okay.
Mailman Dave says, what world is being toured? Well, one of the ideas we had at the beginning of the season was that every few months we would do a big HermitCraft world tour stream. We did one maybe 4 or 5 months into the season, and the plan is to do another one like around now. So
And that was separate from Grian's marathon video, right?
No, this is like a stream event world tour. The idea is to do 2 or 3 of these a season.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so we also kind of had one at the first Gamers Outreach thing in April as well.
Yeah.
When we gave Jimmy and I'm blanking on his name. Martin a tour.
Jimmy
Yes.
Martin.
Yeah. Sorry, it is late and my brain is overheating. Okay. So
have you been hydrating?
Some.
Joe.
I will drink more.
Thank you. If you need to go get more, go for it.
I got a bottle of Sundrop with a little left too.
Okay.
So I should probably drink that earlier so I get the benefits of the caffeine now rather than when I'm trying to go to sleep in an hour.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't make the same mistakes I've made in the past.
Yeah. Okay. So.
All right. Anyway. Okay. What's next?
I mean. Honestly.
All right, hold on. Take a minute.
Well, part of the problem I'm looking at here is
Mm-hmm.
some of these things that were kind of derailed or postponed earlier might be back on the rails in June, July, or August.
Okay.
So I don't want to. And because we're already behind on the server thing,
Okay.
I don't want to overcommit to experimental anything when I've got a few things I can't talk about right now that, if they do work out, might need my time. So
I understand that.
So that's. I feel like these signs are technically blank, but I'm just gonna put stalled project resumption on each of these with a question mark, and that can also include the server stuff. If the server stuff is still stalled at that point. So we've got a few things. We got a lot of irons and a lot of fires. We just don't know which of those fires are alive. But from a travel standpoint, there's no way I'm adding anything else to my travel schedule at this point, unless the people are paying for me to go. It's literally impossible.
Yeah, that's fair.
So some years I'd be like, I can't believe we don't have any conventions besides PlayOnCon and TGD on the schedule. But like, there's nothing. There's no way to make anything work. Like,
oh, you should put TGD fall.
I've got that on there already.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's all the way over here. They've actually already got the dates. I accidentally wrote the wrong year.
That's okay. Gotcha. Okay. Very good. All right.
Yeah, that's in November.
Yeah. I saw that Unplugged is back in November, and they announced the date for PAX East next year, and it's the same weekend of March. PAX East this year for me is the only time I'm ever going to be able to go.
Yeah, I would love to be able to go to Unplugged again, but
I think you will.
I mean, it's going to be years.
Even if not this year.
I mean,
I think you'll be back.
Yeah.
But you got PlayOnCon.
Things are really going to have to be looking up is what I'm like. It's just
I know.
I mean, I'm trying to cut everything non-essential at this point in terms of costs, and there's no way to make up that revenue. It's a really fun event, and I love to go, but like,
you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's okay.
Yeah.
It just. I know this means that we should probably come visit at some point. Which we will.
Realistically, yeah, that's the other thing. Is like, we're not going to have a lot of money for travel. So yeah, if you guys wanted to come visit us, we'd be very happy to have you. But
yeah, we'll talk about that offline.
Like, if it's completely unjustifiable that I haven't been to this building that I'm working on here. Like, I should have been driving around, getting kicked out of the service areas of this building a year ago. But it just was financially impossible.
We'll figure out a way for you to get up here to come see it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it'd be nice to do it during the current season of HermitCraft. But like,
I know.
Yeah.
We don't know what the future holds. And Hardluck says it would take some careful planning, but he and Queen Dark Lady should be able to do TGD.
That would be fantastic. Oh, that would be so fun. Yay.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we probably we would be very glad to see you guys there.
One of these years we'll get our butts down for a TGD.
So
one of these times.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just take a while.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, it's kind of just one of those things where, like, I feel like sometimes, you know, when we first started doing these, it was like, oh, the world is so full of possibilities, and we need to narrow down where I'm going to spend my time or whatever. But at this point, it kind of feels like a lot of that, we already made all the decisions that we could to set us up to be where we are now. Where it's like, okay, this project is so far along, but and so close to being ready for other people. Like,
yeah, this is looking great.
The goal of this place was to spend the last like half year or so on the server, having people over here and doing collabs, and like all of these things we're already on track for. I just need to do the work to get to that, and then we'll just do whatever makes sense at the time. Like, we don't need to sort that right now because we sorted it a year and a half ago. You know, there's no decisions to be made about travel because there's no budget for travel. There's no decisions to be made about merch because these tariffs are insane. There's no decisions to be made about really almost anything. Like, there's no decisions to be made about equipment because there's no money for equipment. There's no, like, basically all I can do at this point is follow through on making this the best season of HermitCraft possible and hope that I keep barely breaking even. That's kind of, I mean, I feel like that's the quarter. Is there something I'm missing? Like, I don't know.
I mean, there's been a lot of progress on this so far, and looking at what you have in front of you,
Yeah.
you already know what has to get done before the tour.
Yeah.
And we've talked about if what you have on your list is feasible. You've talked about adding streams to your schedule
Yeah.
to help help you with the quarterly taxes and making sure they're covered.
Yeah.
And then the other stuff you have in front of you, we talked about getting the server stuff situated when the other stuff in front of you is squared away. So we've been down that path already.
You know what? There is some stuff that actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we should write down because this is other stuff that's kind of stalled, but it's like 75 to 90% there.
Okay, so do you have like
I'm just thinking
in
now.
the room that we could use?
Do I have what?
Do we have a spot in the room that we could use?
Yeah. No, I'm saying like I'm realizing there's a whole class of stuff I forgot to put on the board.
Okay, so we gotta do that.
So I'm going back to the board.
Get in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm watching.
So we've got and this is going to be lower priority than the welcome center, so I'm going to put this in June.
Okay.
So, and this is something for meetup/misc. So we need branding/cards. And we need a website redesign.
Okay.
And possibly database streams. I want to do some SQL streams.
Okay.
And I don't think those are going to make money, and so those will probably have to be after June 15th, or like, well, they'll have to be. They might have to be in July. We'll see what makes sense, but I've got a bunch of stuff that's in my head distracting me, with ideas about stuff like that, that I think will at some point I'll just want to make something.
Okay. I do have a pen and paper in front of me. In case you need me to take some notes, I can pass on to you post.
No, I mean it's more like it's like database design schemas. Like I need to just take I need to take the table structures in my head and just make those tables. I need to like just I've had a few things rattling around for the website that I just need to build out.
I see. Yeah, I cannot help you with that.
Lady Oolong says, if I may gently nudge HC Fan Art Museum. It doesn't sound like you'll be able to afford to commission artists, but there are people who would want to do something for you regardless. I can't. I basically told Asuma, he gave me a hard deadline, and he's like, do you think you'll be able to commission artists by this deadline? And I said, I don't think so. So, as far as I know, I've already closed that out. We're not... I've missed the opportunity to do it. So, it's just not going to happen. Like... So,
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm really... I mean, I probably could have done something smarter 2 or 3 years ago. but like there are things like I'm not gonna beat myself up over this because there are things like I see now with perfect hindsight how if I had known that there was gonna be this huge tariff thing, I could have prioritized this merch thing better and imported a bunch of things to stay ahead of the tariffs, and then sold stuff out of my warehouses to other people who are trying to otherwise stuck with stuff in China. But that only works until my warehouse is empty. Like, I don't know. It's the sort of thing where it's like I'm really annoyed that
that
I was hoping to
that's
spin up this merch thing, and I thought that
yeah.
was going to cover a lot of stuff, and we weren't able to do it.
Yeah,
And
the whole fan art thing, I could see there would have been a way to ask artists if they had something like already done
I don't
so
want
that you
to.
wouldn't have to commission them.
No, I don't want to do that. It gets weird. It's just basically one of those things where like, especially because if I'm at the point where I'm like not able to hire people to do this work, then I shouldn't assume that I'm financially secure enough to not need to go back to doing graphic design work or web work or stuff where like
Okay, so
I don't want to
you
alienate a bunch of guild members right before I might need a job. Like that seems
ah
unwise. Like
okay.
like
I see how
people yeah,
I see how you're how
like
you're breaking it down. I get it
I
now.
you know, like what I'm saying is I have a bunch of ethical reservations about this because I agree with the guild. But even if I didn't agree with the guild, from a practical standpoint, if I'm in this situation, I shouldn't break from the guild on it. So, yeah, it would be a bad idea. It's basically it's something that
It,
I don't want to do, and if I
it
did do it, I would probably end up penalized for it somehow. So
it's something that
I'm not
it's
gonna
something
talk.
that
You're not gonna talk me into it. Like not
I
you, NJ,
wasn't.
but the people in the chat who are like,
Yeah, I think it just sounds like they just want to, they just want to like show off their appreciation for your work. And you explaining that it could have negative repercussions for you
yeah,
because of the professional organizations you belong to or whatever.
yeah.
That makes a lot more sense than um just saying I just don't want to.
Well,
Like,
I don't think I should do it. But even if like I said, even if I suddenly changed my mind, it would still be a bad idea. Unless I was 100% sure I was going to be self-sufficient financially for the rest of my life. Which
I
I'd be
see.
much more confident about that if I could afford to hire people. And if I could afford to hire people, I would have just done that. Like,
Yeah,
so it's one of
and see
those...
that makes sense, and I think that was I think that was the piece that people were that the viewers were missing because I didn't have that piece either. But
Yeah.
I get it though. I understand it because we've talked about that. It's like a creative design or something like that, right? It's a creative design guild that you
AIGA.
belong to.
Yeah.
Yeah, AIGA. Okay.
So,
Um.
yeah.
So
Basically, like, especially like with... There, it's just not worth it. It's not a
yeah, that's fine.
productive use of our time, and it especially
No,
gets complicated too
yeah.
because Microsoft is going to be if Microsoft publishes the world download again, then even though Microsoft isn't paying us for that, they're still getting a ton of marketing goodwill. It's it's a
I
weird it's a
it's
weird
just
thing where even if I'm not getting
mhm.
paid for this,
It
Microsoft arguably probably from the point of view of the guild, Microsoft should
yeah.
probably be paying the people who are putting the stuff in the store.
So it's
So
basically
it's
like
a whole
putting a
thing.
slip and slide down over a gravel driveway. It's
I
very bumpy and not a good idea. Slippery slope that ends up
It's not a
hurting.
slippery slope argument, I don't think. It's just
I was just thinking.
I just don't.
That's just how my brain works.
I just don't want to
to
do it. It doesn't make sense to me to do it, and
that's okay.
That's okay.
You know,
I wasn't gonna. Yeah. Mr. Hardluck says, if we ever win the lottery show, you'll know. Well, thank you, Mr. Hardluck. That's very kind of you.
I think a number of us say that. Now we're now fully in the weeds, and we're now fully in the weeds. We need to pull back.
Okay.
Pull back, come back to the clearing.
But yeah, basically we already missed the boat on that. There was a deadline for me to get that stuff to Asuma by.
Okay.
And because he's got like his own whole schedule with X number of slots, and he worked it out, and so yeah, even if I suddenly had the money to do that, and I changed my mind, it would be a massive inconvenience for Asuma. And he probably would be very unhappy with me if he did accommodate me, because it would. There was a clear like, Joe, I'm scheduling my all of this stuff around these things. This is a lot of work for me, and I'm happy to do it, but I really need to know this so I can allocate my time. So
it makes sense. But let's get back to this board.
Yeah.
Let's get back to this board.
Okay.
There are a few open spots, and I just want to make sure that at least for since May's pretty much over, June, July, and August.
Yeah.
That we have things filled in as much as possible. I'm assuming that we've got maybe about another 30 to 40 minutes if we need to, unless you're cutting this shorter. Because we usually take about 2 hours on a good note.
Well, like
I just want to make sure that there's enough time to cover everything.
Yeah, I feel like we usually have more time because we have more decisions to make. But yeah. It's just,
hey, Lizzie Mac. Hey, Lily loves cats too.
Welcome. Yeah, it's just like with the current state of the economy and with like how expensive everything is and how uncertain prices everything are. Like, I just I feel like the only thing that I can really guarantee people that I can plausibly work on is making streams and making episodes. And so
that's
do I have September map art contest judging? I need to follow up. So there was something with that where
yes, you did put it in the column.
Did I put
you should have it in September.
Yeah, so that was one of those things where I got hung up on. I couldn't figure out what the judging criterion should be for the categories. So maybe we just brainstorm that right now so we can actually just fire the starting pistol on that contest.
Well, yeah, because it'll take time.
So we have 3 categories. Where's my signs? Do I have extra signs? No. Why would I have more than precisely the number of signs? We have 1 sign here on the bed. Okay. So we have original art, we have recreation, and then we have like collage, basically. So for the collage category, my idea was that judges would evaluate it on how the work elevated the individual components. So collage. How well does this work elevate original components? And then for original art, like, I was just like, how good is it? I feel like that's a really terrible rubric. But like,
that is a very it's not terrible.
It's a very broad rubric.
Dang broad. That is a broad rubric.
Yeah, and then
that's like throwing a stone in an ocean.
for recreations, it's just like, how good is it?
You're welcome, Lizzie.
I'm really annoyed that I came up with. I feel like for collage, how well does this work elevate the original components? Sounds great. That's a fantastic rubric. But for the other two, I have just literally been thinking about this for 3 weeks, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Is it good? Like,
I like the idea of vibes. Does it pass the vibe check?
I mean, that's kind of it. Like, it's
That
really
should be the criterion.
I really
Does it
don't.
pass the
Did we
vibe
have
check?
criteria for the last map art build contest? I'm glad we're dealing with this right now because this is actually
Somewhere and
every night when I go to sleep now. I'm like, is there a good way to reword this? And then I give up, and then I'm just like, screw it. Like,
I'm sure
I didn't realize it had been like
help you
3
figure it
weeks,
out.
but apparently, like I was looking at the calendar, it's like, oh, I had this idea on like, or I started working on this on like the 27th or 28th of last month. It's been like 23 days, and the entire thing has just been held up because I can't figure out something that better than how good is it.
Sometimes that's all you need. Art is up to the beholder. So
Yeah. Well, and like, I feel like at that point,
exactly, art is subjective.
at that point, I really need
Ooh.
to not launch the contest until I can announce the judges.
Ooh, so YouTube chat, Nin in YouTube chat has a great
What does
point
Nin
here.
say?
Says, how well does it use the limitations of Minecraft to represent art in a limited palette or size?
Well, here's the thing, Nymph. Is that disqualifies 2/3 of the judges I want to invite because they don't know how Minecraft art works. So, like, we usually bring in, like, one person who really knows Minecraft well and 2 people who are, like, artists who don't know anything about Minecraft. And so we get to kind of see their... Like, so having to give them a crash course in how Minecraft palettes work is gonna slog it, or we'll have to not invite the people I want to invite. So it's one of those things like, yeah, if we had a bunch of Minecraft insiders doing it, but like part of the goal of this is to bring people onto my show who I know because they make cool stuff who wouldn't normally be on a Minecraft show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
it took me a while to figure out Mailman Dave's joke. Broad rubrics are how I decide who to date. I was just
terrible.
Okay, yeah, I thought you just meant like, yeah, I try not to worry about any one particular thing because you're not gonna find perfection that way. Like,
I just got it now too. Oh, that's terrible.
No, Nymph, no need to apologize. But yeah, I'm just.
Oh dear. Okay. And center. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take another quick look at this board.
Yeah.
Is there anything else here?
So
just take a look at it.
Okay, here
one month at a time. Let's just go through from May through.
Okay, so yeah, like is there a better way to word something along the lines of the judges will rank their choices based on what they personally feel is important in art or something like that. Like, just say up front, it's really the judge's call.
The judges will utilize their experience the judges will review each piece.
Each category will have 3 judges who with from different backgrounds who will individually rank the contestants, rank the entries, who will individually rank the entries, will individually rank the entries,
Kindless has a good suggestion. The judges will evaluate submissions based on their own frames of reference and experience.
Yeah. Like, so for example, let's say we bring in somebody who's like an animator for a comedy show. He might say, well, I like this one because it's funny. It makes me laugh. So I'm bumping it up above this other one. Whereas somebody else might say like, oh, well, as a graphic designer, I really appreciate the composition and the color in this one. So that's why it beats out that other one for me, even though it's funny, right? You know.
So then that still falls within what?
Yeah, each category, 3 judges from different backgrounds will individually rank the entries, and their rankings will be reconciled. And those rankings will be reconciled into the final results. Three judges from different backgrounds will individually rank the entries based on their preferences, and those rankings will be reconciled into the final results. Something like that.
It's good for a start.
Yeah. I mean, we should have kicked this contest off 3 weeks ago. I dropped the ball on this because I cannot process the passage of time. Okay.
I would have mentioned it, but it wasn't on my radar, so I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's my fault. Okay. Cool. So,
Chewbacca says 3 judges enter, 1 judge leaves. Nice. Okay.
Okay, well, so we have okay. What else do we have to do? Here's what we should be spending this last 30 minutes on. What have I done half the work on that I haven't finished? Like, I bought the test server, but we don't have it hooked up to a network because we don't have some of the network stuff set up properly.
Okay, so that's got to
We've got this build contest, but we haven't formally announced it because I couldn't figure out how to grade things.
We've got that figured out now.
We've got that. Right? Well, we still have to formally announce it, so we still have to write that up. But like now, I can at least try and get that done. You know, like this, all this Hermit Holmdel stuff. It's like, okay, I had a bunch of things generally sorted out, but I needed to sit down and do some actual geometry and figure stuff out. So, like, I spent 2 hours this afternoon just pen and paper, graph paper, marking out the build, figuring it out, right? So now we can do the water tower, you know. But
okay,
like,
so the water tower, yeah, that's on the list.
So I guess what I'm saying, though, is we've got a whole bunch of things. Business cards. Like, 90% done, but I hadn't quite figured out a few details. Website redesign. Kind of the same situation as the business card. Like, what else? What's other stuff that I've been talking about working on? Oh, we've got that thing that I commissioned the music for from Vin, but then I never actually made it, and that's driving me nuts. But, like, it's one of those things, like, I know this project will generate 0 revenue, and that it was a complete boondoggle in the first place. I just thought it would be really funny. But I need to get ahead on editing before I can work on it. And I'm, like, never ahead on editing. But, like, we're sitting on, 3 songs? I feel like we're sitting on 3 songs.
How many did you commission Vin to do?
Well, I tried to get 4, but with my original deadline, there was only time for 3. So I'm glad I only
Okay.
paid for 3 because we've never. Vin got me the songs back, and I just haven't been able to get my half done. Well, I mean, it's not
Okay.
half, my 80%. Grumble, grumble, grumble. So let's put. So this is stalled project resumption, including Vin music. Sorry, Vin. I'm sure you've been wanting to talk about this project for like a year now.
Well, this is why we're talking through it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kindle says you made a business card design. Yeah, but I never finalized it. I had a mock-up. Like, there's a bunch of detail work that needs to be done to actually finish it and get it printed.
Oh, so would you be able to do that during the next?
I'm
you
putting
and
it in
Cleo
July.
stream? Yeah. Okay. The
I'm
business
put-
card.
Well, so the thing with the business card is, it's really the most helpful when I'm going places and meeting people. So, like, when I was in
Yes.
Nebraska, it was, like, really frustrating to me that I didn't have a bunch of business cards.
So
Because, like, I was talking to
why-
random people in the airport and stuff, and I'm like, oh, it would have been good if I had a card to give this person, just so we could keep in
So-
touch. But
So why don't you try to finish them before PlayOnCon?
that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's going to be, like,
When you said July,
yeah.
hold on.
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying the Vin music
done with
project
work.
I'll do in July.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm talking about the business card.
Yeah. Business cards is on here for June. What other
Okay.
projects or things have I talked about doing that we just never got done? We've got all the merch stuff is definitely on hold right now.
Merch stuff is on hold. You've got the Vin project. You've got the water tower.
In theory, there's like a bunch of stuff where if Badger got the green card tomorrow, we could start working on certain things that I need help with, but we can't count on that. So all of that's basically stalled indefinitely. But yeah.
Absolutely, Nola. Neo says, by the time you get it done, there'll be vintage.
Vintage.
Golf clap, Neo. Golf clap. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nola says it's amazing who you meet going someplace new. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had badge ribbons that I handed out.
Mm-hmm. Fall says, let the Minecraft judge and the other judge talk about things. Well, I definitely plan to, but I can't base the entire rubric on it. It's fine for that to be an interesting thing for them to share as they chat about why they're evaluating things certain ways. But it's unfair to expect 2 of the 3 judges to have to learn on the fly from the other judge how to use the rubric if I hand them a rubric like that. But yeah, I feel like we are in... I mean, there's a bunch of stuff, too, where it's like...
Yeah.
I'm completely stalled on this pinball machine project because I don't have any money for parts.
Yes.
Like, I spent, like, probably $600 on parts to do this build, but I'm kind of at the point where it's like, I really need to drop another $1,200 to, like, move much past where I got to. Like, I might be able to do... there's a few things I can try and do. But, like, it feels like I'm gonna be... Yeah, I don't know. That's... I was really hoping to get some bites on sponsorship stuff before I was gonna have to spend that money.
Okay.
And then and that sponsorship stuff stalled. So I don't know if it's even worth trying to figure out how to get that back on track at this point, but like just while we're listing things that like what have I invested a bunch of time into that I'm not really taking advantage of.
Notes.
Fitness show ?
I forgot about that.
I brought
You haven't brought that up in a long time.
Yeah, I was at the I was at the Goodwill the other day, and they had chroma green running shorts. And I was
Oh
like,
Lord.
well, these are $3, and maybe I shouldn't buy these unless I'm sure I can actually do this, but maybe this is a sign I need to come back to that idea. Yeah.
Kindle says that Shawnard says June 29th would work for Iron Isles Canada Day Parade.
Okay.
Oh, hi Scar.
Okay. Iron Island 629. Okay. So we've got that tentatively in there. I haven't added it to the thing yet. Okay.
Okay. And
so
then
for my like immediate to do here of like in this week. What did I do? Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, because we got to map that out, but not the calendar.
I marked out in terms of my actually weekly calendar. I worked out my streaming schedule for this week anyway. But
oh good, okay.
Okay, I actually have a bunch of stuff that I did today.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Somebody who was at a panel at PAX East, they handed out poker chips as their business card. Because I think I remember you talking about that at one point.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or like the Pogs.
Yeah, I like the poker chip idea. That's actually really cool. Okay, so things I need to do: announce. So this is my to-do list for tomorrow. Announce map art build contest. We need to create Patreon events for event for Iron Islands Canada Day parade floatable contest. We can't follow up on the one for June until Thursday after the HermitCraft meeting. That's the Tony's Parade Float Build Contest. Okay, so I've added. Okay. So we've got 3 actionable Discord related things for like tomorrow.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you, Kindlist.
Dottie is aware that the TK parade is dependent on Thursday's HermitCraft meeting outcome. Okay, cool. Good to know. Okay. Cool. Okay, so yeah, do we have? Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is we don't have like a stalled projects list. But maybe
no, but we can make one.
Maybe we should have one. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna jot some stuff down.
Yeah.
Things that will ramp up at some point, like your merch.
Yeah.
Your trip to Bell Labs.
Well. Yeah. Somebody pointed out, well, Joe, you didn't visit Castle Hohenzollern or the Pillar of Hercules Lighthouse. I wanted to, though. I was kind of. Those were things that, like, part of the reason I picked to build them was because I was hoping to one day visit Europe and do those things. And it ended up not really working out.
Yeah, and if I had my way, we'd have tickets for you already to come to Jersey.
Yeah, it's sorry, I'm gonna stop grumbling.
It's fair.
Yeah.
One thing at a time.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you want? What do you want on this list?
I mean, yeah. Pinball machine, glass laser cutter.
Yes. Scar, we're talking about it. We're
What is
hoping
Scar
it can get
saying?
done. We need to get on that Joe merch.
Yeah, I've been talking to people. It's a
Yeah.
challenging time to get merch going with the tariffs.
Yeah. He really wanted that scratchy @ shirt.
I'm not sure that Joe merch is a sure thing in this economy. So,
Yeah, I know.
partially because I was planning on shipping. Well, also, I need to wait until we get the green card for Badger, so the Badger can actually help me with like shipping and all that. Like,
Yeah, I get it.
but yeah, that's the two things: is we don't know what the tariff situation looks like, and I have no breathing room to do it myself. Yes, Scar.
Uh-oh.
Scar's gonna say just have somebody else do your disbursement. But like I can't, or not disbursement. What's the word for it?
Distribution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like financially, that's a losing game for me. Like
Yeah.
I'm so barely break even right now that if a bunch of people took the $20 a month they would have spent tipping me. Scar says I can help with this stuff. Well, you can't help like accelerate Badger's green card. Like no, it's more just like we can't operate until like Badger can legally work in the United States.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. I'm sure he can share his idea offline. Hi, Witch.
Yeah, but the other thing is like, yeah, my audience is so small and directs me through and supports me through direct tipping so much that like if I had like 25 people choose to buy a $20 t-shirt instead of tipping me $20 that month, unless I'm like shipping the shirts myself from my garage and getting them as cheaply as possible, I'm just not going to be able to pay my health insurance that month. And everything I'm doing is so razor thin, barely break even.
Yeah.
I can't afford to sell a $20 shirt where I only make $4 per shirt. I need to be buying the shirts in bulk for $7 and then shipping them myself.
I would be curious to hear Scar's.
Well, Scar has a bigger audience. It's the economy of scale pays off at that point.
I'm
like, it's just, yeah.
He piqued my curiosity. That's
I guess what I'm saying is like I think he has a lot of really helpful stuff for somebody who's closer to his audience size and is financially stable and has some savings. But like I've burned through all my savings in the last year and a half with all the immigration costs. Like it's like $5,000 here, $5,000 there. All this immigration stuff is so expensive. I'm running on empty. Like I can't, like, one big merch run that cuts into my tips for that month. And it's like, well, what do I do? I can't pay my health insurance. I can't pay my rent. I'm screwed. Like, I really can't do this unless I get the margins, like, to a point that you can only really do if you're doing everything in-house. And it would only be because Badger was helping me with it that we'd be able to afford the labor costs. So yeah. Okay, Scar, I'll hear you out, but I'm really dubious. Like,
good luck, Scar. Yeah. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. But you two are the ones that should have the conversation.
Yeah. Well, like I said,
I'm just a little nosy.
Like, yeah, it's like one of those things though. Is like there's a lot of ways that you can take risks and make more money in the long term, but I've already spent all of my savings taking risks on this immigration process, and so I have no more risk budget. Like literally, I'm out of money to allocate to risk. And It's not like, oh, psychologically I'm terrified of taking risks. No. If I had an extra
No.
heck, if I had an extra
If
like
you're terrified of
1,500 in
taking
my
risks, are
account,
you
I'd
kidding
feel
me
way
right now?
I'm really worried about like making rent and paying my quarterly taxes. Like I just,
Yeah.
you know,
You have
everything's so
responsibilities
tight.
that take precedence. That
Yeah.
there's no argument that you're doing the right thing by focusing on the immediate needs in front of you. It's like
Yeah.
Skiz's pyramid, the hierarchy of needs.
Yeah.
Like you're at that level right now, and that's where you need to be
Yeah.
until stuff gets a little bit more balanced. And that's okay. If if it takes a little while longer for you to have merch available to your audience,
Yeah.
that it'll be okay because they're still going to want it, even though it might take a little longer.
Yeah. Like
It's okay.
I need to be building like there is a path forward where merch makes sense, but I just don't see any way to do it without the green card. Anyway, we got a tip rolling in from Anonymous for 20. Thank you very much, Anonymous.
Yay.
Yay, that is going to get us to the next face camera expansion milestone evenly. So here we go. It's time to expand Jost. Do. And we're going to lower the Joe Pasty now to 24%. La da da da.
I will say to Scar, you are appreciated.
I appreciate it too, but I don't want people getting their hopes up about this stuff, and then especially because like if they're like, oh well, I'll set aside some money in case Joe does do it.
Talk through stuff with
like,
you. It's really cool.
Yeah, then we're running on razor thin margins here.
Well, yeah. So, okay. Before I forget, I haven't set it up yet, but I'm considering doing a charity event in June.
Okay.
It's going to be for an organization I support called Stream for a Cause. They're focused on Pride Month and helping smaller. That's what they usually do. But I'm only mentioning it to you because I'm only mentioning it in general because I just thought of it.
Yeah, that sounds like a facilitator organization rather than a direct action organization, and that's not necessarily who I'd normally like. Yeah, I'd rather send money to people on the ground rather than people who work with streamers.
It's a little bit more than that. I'll talk to you offline about it.
Yeah, send me the details privately, but like this doesn't sound like it's it doesn't sound like it ticks the boxes for what I would want to bring to my audience.
Yeah,
like,
I'll explain
like
later.
If you were like, hey, this is a legal aid organization
no,
that helps LGBT teens, like, okay, cool, let me read about the cases they've done, let me be able to pitch their victories. But it's this is a middleman. It's not for me. I mean, you're welcome to do whatever you want, but yeah, I'm likely to pass on that one.
More than fair. Hyena, no, it's PayPal and YouTube Super Chat.
Yeah, no Venmo, sorry. But yeah, like the thing about the t-shirt is they're so easy to locally produce.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not the sort of thing that you really got to go through some huge conglomerate. Like there's tons of silk screening companies locally. It's just that they've got to get their shirts. The shirts that they're printing on are coming from China, and it's
it's a whole mess.
Yeah.
Mailman Dave says that movies tell him we should have a battle of the bands to save the rec center by Friday, but I doubt there is a real clear-cut solution.
No, there's not. Like, because it's not like, oh, if we pay off this one thing, we're set. It's not like, oh, like it's, yeah, like there's, yeah. There's not a huge like, oh, we have to pay off the mortgage, and then like I'm renting. I'm spending all this money in rent, all this money on health insurance, and like it's just every month.
Yeah.
Like I mean, yeah.
Joe.
Yeah.
Since we have a few minutes, I just want you to take a look at what's here and your lists that you've made so far during this conversation.
Sure.
And double check and make sure that because obviously, you know, people are gonna put in you posted the link. Good.
Yeah.
Like just to make sure that there's nothing you missed, or if there's any questions you want to bounce off me before our time is up.
I mean, I can't think of anything. I don't. That's the problem though too. Like this is why we have
Okay.
this. Like what? I can't think of anything that we're missing.
Okay. We can
Yeah.
always touch base after the holiday, because we're not having a call next week because it's Memorial
No.
Day. Yeah. But we can touch base at another point.
Yeah. I
That's
just
totally fine.
yeah, like I said, I feel like everything is just kind of like so many choices have been winnowed down or whatever just by circumstance that like, you know, if it was like, okay, Badger got a green card and now can help me with all this stuff, and now what's the best way to, you know, work together to make everything easier and get everything done quicker, and what opportunities does that present, you know, that like that'd be a fun conversation full of opportunity. But this really just kind of feels like I don't know, we made a bunch of good choices earlier about like this whole general build for the rest of the season, and the only logical thing to do is to follow through on it because we didn't screw that part up. That's obviously working. Let's just put time and effort into making good videos and doing good streams and ride it out. Like it feels like that part of everything is at least right. We're not over here freaking out about, well, no, how am I going to spend the next few months on HermitCraft? I didn't plan for the season to go this long, you know, like,
yeah.
So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm feeling pretty good about the creative side of everything.
Good. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
And
then the stuff that I'm not feeling great about is so far outside of my control, there's no reason to stress about it, it kind of feels like.
That's very true. Do you know how many times I've been told the same thing just in the last 2 weeks alone?
Probably 17 or 19, probably a prime number.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
You're probably right. But yeah, no, I mean, anyone who's been watching your videos, especially this season, you know, you just keep getting better and better with them, and they are really high quality. So you're on the right path there for sure.
Yeah.
And everything else will end up falling into place. You've got your priorities in check. And you're focused on the thing no, seriously, you have your priorities focused on the things that you should be focusing on. If you weren't, I would tell you.
Yeah, like basically the whole business is going to live or die on how good the streams and videos are. And it's reassuring because that kind of feels like that's how it should be. It's not like, oh, am I gonna get this Factor sponsorship? I'm gonna get that sponsorship. It's like, no, we're just gonna make the best videos and the best streams we can, and hope that works. And if it doesn't, then we'll worry about that then, I guess. Yeah. Mailman Dave says some months you just show up to work and the win is that you get to next month. I mean, that's kind of how it's been for a while. That's the thing is like, I really thought that we were going to have a lot more doors open toward the end of last year. And like I said, because of a lot of this geopolitical stuff, it feels like a lot of doors have kind of closed. And, you know, so it's fine because, you know, like I said, the core of the business, which is making good videos and streams, is still absolutely available to me. You know, so we do, what I'm looking at is almost every day morning stream, unless I like have to edit. Almost every day evening stream, and then as many afternoon streams as we can jam in there. Like over the summer, because we can't afford to travel or do anything, I can jam in a bunch of more weekend streams and hope that that pays off.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just see what happens, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and who knows? Just because the doors are closed, they're not locked.
Well, I mean, that's the crazy thing about all this tariff stuff too. Is like it could all just like Congress technically could just say this isn't the sort of emergency that the president should be using this power for, and like we could literally be done with this at any time. Like, the president isn't supposed to be setting tariffs. This is an anomaly that is bizarrely been allowed to just run unchecked. Like,
we are living in a pretty cursed timeline right now, but we're doing the best we can to get through every day.
And like, I was joking the other day about having shirts that say "worst timeline ever." But of course, we can't afford to print them because, you know, you're asking a lot of questions about why we can't afford to print my worst timeline ever shirts that are answered by my worst timeline ever shirt. So yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
And this is the sort of
I have
thing...
no response to that, but yeah, I would wear that in a minute.
Yeah. There's a path forward
I just have the
here.
same thing.
And so yeah, I don't want to end on a negative note. Like, I do think that on the whole, like, we're actually in really good shape, and it's partially because the core business, the making the streams and videos, this whole Homedale project, I'm very excited about getting into the museum stuff. I'm really excited about the editing opportunities that the dueling curators are going to provide. There's going to be some really good jokes. I've already got a bunch of notes on that. Like,
I'm really looking forward to all of that. And just would you like to show everyone, because a couple of people just came in, do you want to show people a little bit of like what progress there is for now, like with the whole thing?
Do I have rockets to do that? Maybe, I don't know.
If you have the rockets to do it.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
Obviously. Okay.
Also from a technical standpoint too, we've got like the incredible Voxy mod changing the entire like Cortex's work on this Voxy mod is incredible. Like,
I still can't get over how far you can see across the server with that mod. It's just unreal.
Yeah, I'm worried that my viewers are going to get annoyed that I'm constantly excited about this, but like, I can't express how cool this is to me. It looks a lot better to me than to you guys because my face isn't in front of it on my screen. Although that might be the case soon for some of y'all as well, because we just got a tip rolling in. Let me see if I can land on this platform before I read this.
Oh my goodness, yeah, please land.
Thank you very much.
This is gorgeous.
But yeah, this is solid 60 frames a second. Like, Cortex has been doing crazy amounts of work. I've been reading the Git commits because I'm a nerd. But yeah, I can't wait to be able to share the link to this for y'all. But yeah, thank you very much to Miss Gold Fox, who's tipping 200, who says, thanks for the great streams and videos. So, I can do some basic math here. And that's going to be several face camera expansions. So please direct your attention to my face, because we're about to expand Jost. Oh no, I have moved the overlay with the text on it. No, not yet. I gotta find my face again. Oh no. Where's my face? Expand Jost. Lowering the Joe Pasty now to 20%. Numero dos. Even larger Jost. La da da da. Ba da da da. Whoosh. Lowering the Joe Pasty now to 16%. Numero tres. Even larger face. Bum, 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 bum. OBS really starts fighting me, especially with these extra overlays on. It is not palling around here. Lowering the Joe Pasty now to 12%. Numero quattro. How about some more, Joe? And then we are going to lower the Joe Pasty now to 9%. Each Nissan she go, 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 expand the Jost. Lowering the opacity now to 6%. 1, 2, 3, 4. How about we expand some more? 5, 6. It's pretty great. We're expanding. If I can drag this far enough in OBS and it doesn't crash. Here we go. Expand, Joe. Woo. Lowering the opacity now to 3%. Before we do that next one, let me show you if we full size or full opacity. Here's how big that eyeball is now. Lowering it back to 3% before our next one. For this next one, we got a special little song. Here we go. It's Webcam Expander.
Webcam expander. Dear live stream viewers, will you watch my face?
It took up your screens, then began to fade. It replaced some pixels from a game you like. And this is my job, so I wanna be a webcam expander. Webcam expander. It's off-color optics from a broken cam, and some of the chat just throws up its hands. The Jost is beetled for showtime now. It's a heady job, and he wants to be a webcam expander. Webcam expander. Webcam expander. Webcam expander. Okay, so thank you very much to Miss Gold Fox for getting me out here. I'm the Beetlejuice. I'm pretty great. Let's see. Boy, whoever was here before me took terrible notes. This is just garbage, scratch paper nonsense. Anyway, it looks like let's see. After I was unveiled here, we got another $60 left in Miss Gold Fox's tip to deal with. So let's go ahead and process the first 50 of that. And that's going to have leave us 40 away from the expansion after that. So here we go. It's time to please direct your attention down here to slot 9, where I'm putting the hot in the hotbar. That's right. You know him. You love him. It's the Beetlejuice. Here we go. Expand me. Dee. There we go. Howdy. Good to see y'all. I hope you're having a good night here tonight. Let's see what we got. What do we got up here? Call-in guest, project manager, NJCoffeeJunkie. NJCoffeeJunkie, I hope you weren't hoping on getting any work done, because I'm, I don't know, not exactly the working type. You know, people ask me, Beetlejuice, you're working class guy, right? And I'm like, well, I'm not working and I'm not classy, but, you know, whatever. In terms of being a guy, I mean, who doesn't love blowing up a parliament? You know, give me a mask and some fireworks. Let's go. Anyway, what are we doing here? Welcome, Triple the Red 10. Glad to see ya. Welcome, Millamoogle, Vin Shoken, Prism 1042, Glass and Pain, Hyena Baboy. Hi, Gusty Gale, Moon Roses, Luca and Nymph. We got some other people here. Welcome, Neo, Mailman Dave, Lady Oolong. Yeah, what are you guys up to? Millamoogle says Guy Fawkes mentioned. Yeah, I mean, well, he's the specific guy that, like, he's the one. When people are like, oh, just some guy, they mean just like, oh, just some random dude who is gonna blow up the parliament. Yep. But eventually it didn't only mean terrorists, it meant like just random dudes. And not just ones who are city slickers who are hanging out at the ranch either. So yeah, anyway. People mention Guy Fawkes all the time, whether they intend to or not. But yeah, what are we up to? Okay, just as a reminder, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Guy Fawkes, is that how you died? Dude, Guy Fawkes was like 1,500, 1,600 years into this epic. Okay. What do you think I am, a little baby? Wow. Look at me. We have stockings now. Wow. I'm more of a sword and sandals kind of guy. Anyway, where are we doing? What are we doing? Dance break on the YouTubes.
Yep, there was a full-blown dance party. I think Moon Roses probably brought the glow sticks. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dancing Dinosaur in the Twitch chat. It's a party over here. Yeah. You're just in time.
Clearly. Okay, so NJ, is there any work we're supposed to be doing? What are we doing here? Somebody said like, oh, let's show off this home Dell project. Well, we got a ton of stuff on that.
That was me.
Okay.
I wanted to let
I
everyone.
can't pay attention to who everyone who talks to me is. Okay, cut me some slack here. It's you know.
That's why you got me.
Yeah, this is why the Catholic Church does not recognize me as an intercessor. People might pray to me all the time, but I'm like, I don't know which one you are. That is not my job. Like, okay. Anyway, yeah. Sometimes like people have like better memories for who people are than other people. Yeah, not me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just over here. I'll just be talking to this
Yeah.
tree, find out it's not the person I was talking to earlier, and be like, oh, got confused, sorry. I was just carrying on the same conversation. Anyway, yeah, so this is going to be my part of the museum here.
Yes, very
So-
nice.
So, yeah, we
Very
got a
nice.
few things we got to figure out. Like, do we want to do this kind of chronologically? Start with like, I don't know, maybe early electroplating and then eventually move on to more modern stuff like Leyden jars. I don't know. I'm sorting it out. So out of glow
think
like
it is
in carbon.
newer.
Nah, it's black wool. It's just from sheep. I'm not too fancy over here. Anyway, I mean, we can make it one if you want. Look at that. Boom. There you go, Moonrose. It's just for you. And I made an arrow that points this way because you're a real star. There you go. Anyway.
Queen Dark Lady says, I'm pretty sure it's a party because the Beetlejuice is here.
Yeah,
so
you-
I'm
you
just
know
going to
it.
reply to that with facts.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, we should probably wrap this up. Has
Yeah,
anybody
we
did
should.
last call for tips? I don't think anybody has. So, yeah, tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. Yeah, because as far as I can tell, I'm going to assume that the actual project management portion of this is done. So we should probably thank NJ for her time. NJ, do you have any links you want to share with everybody?
Ooh, good question. I actually do.
I love it. I love it.
one
You know,
second. I gotta go get him.
yeah,
Rud. 1 second.
that's fine. I'm just
I'm a
going to chew on this
professional, I swear.
hairbrush. How good. I'm glad. I'm proud.
Oh my God.
They making these out of plastic now? What the hell is this? Oh my gosh.
Lord have mercy.
Ugh.
All right, so let's see.
Thought it was gonna be wood.
That's my blue sky, and
So I'm gonna cross post there to YouTube.
hold
there.
on. Yeah,
There's NJ Coffee Junkie's blue sky for anybody who wants to follow NJ Coffee Junkie.
and that's my Twitch.
And there's NJ Coffee Junkie's Twitch. NJ, what kind of stuff do you stream and when do you stream it?
Now that I'm done with grad school for the semester, I will be streaming more frequently, usually Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoons, Friday nights, Saturday nights, and Sunday late morning, early afternoon. I stream Minecraft, I play Sagrada, I just got into Detroit Become Human. I play all kinds of games. So just depends on the day and how I'm feeling.
Well, excellent. I hope you're feeling like something pretty exciting because all these people, yeah, they crave that excitement, that old razzle dazzle or whatever.
Tomorrow it'll be Minecraft.
Okay, well that sounds like a great way to spend a whatever day tomorrow is. At a certain point, you just stop looking at calendars, man. I don't even know anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, I know. I get it.
especially because it doesn't even matter. Like it used to be like, oh man, it's Saturday. Saturn will be so mad if you don't worship appropriately. Nowadays, though, people don't even know who 2 is. There's like Tuesday. Yeah, whatever, man. I do what I want.
Exactly.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, I think we should probably get ready to wrap up here. So thank you very
Yeah.
much, NJ, for joining us. I'm gonna
Thank you.
probably hang out for a minute or two just to make sure any last minute tips have an opportunity to be read, but I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Hey, Selena.
Appreciate you coming
Oh
on the
no,
show
you're
as
fine.
always.
You're fine. Anytime. I look forward to these every single quarter.
That's right. You guys
a lot
can
of
come
fun.
back next quarter. We haven't scheduled it yet.
No.
But let's see. It'll probably be in early September, realistically.
Yeah. Yeah, probably after Labor Day.
Yeah, shortly after Labor Day, you can expect another NJ Coffee Junkie hangout. So you can find NJ at that Blue Sky link and that Twitch link as well if you want more NJs in the meantime. So thank you again, NJ. Keep
Thank
adventuring.
you. You too, Beetlejuice.
Okay. So, yeah, everybody's hanging out here. A few things that I need to, I'm not contractually obligated to do this. I want to point that out. Don't sign bad contracts. You're still on the phone. I thought you hung up. Okay, I hear you laughing. I hear you laughing.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm not contractually obligated to tell you, but you can join this Discord for $5 a month and get on the Joe Hill's Minecraft Patreon servers for $10 a month. That's an option you have. I don't get a commission, Beetlejuice. I'm just saying that to be nice. Okay. What else? Oh yeah, you can always find the stream schedule for this show, whether or not I'm on it, at joehills.net/soon. Let's go ahead and post that. Yeah, joehills.net/soon. Okay. Hey, Adam says halfway to expand the Beetlejuice. That's right. That will indeed. That's actually going to get us more than halfway, because we were $40 away from the Beetlejuice expansion, and now we are only $20 away. Thank you for getting us halfway from that fifth of the way point. So appreciate that there, Adam. Okay. We're going to take down that calling in sign from NJ, and we're going to give those Patreon tips a few minutes to percolate in. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. We need to just start clawing at the earth. You know, sometimes you do it from above, sometimes you do it from below, but it's a crowd-pleasing favorite. Welcome, Peter's Curb. Glad you can join us. So, anyway. Evening. Hi, Jevin. What does the I stand for? Is it Internet Jevin? Is it Indiana Jevin? Does he have a hat and a whip and get things from museums? Is he like dun 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 dun? I'm the Jevin. Dun 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 dun. Anyway, /trigger ch toggle. So we need. Let's get out this notebook that says, oh, hey, I found my wish knife note. Awesome. I was looking for that. See that? Wish knife. There you go. Okay, cool. What do we got here? We got, the center of this thing needs to be at 1106. Negative 2929. Okay, so that's like here. And boy, there's a lot of paper in this book. There is a bunch of other stuff. Okay, so the thing is 40 tall. Yeah, 40 meters tall. Base starts at 71 meters above sea level. So that means we need to go down 9 here. There we go. That is now where we need to be. We're going to put a lantern there so we can feel great about ourselves and others. Just kidding. We don't need to feel great about others. We can encourage them to be great and then just observe their greatness. And then we don't have to feel anything. It's just hard data at that point. What kind of Pokemon is a Smurf? I'm not really that into Pokemon. So we need a 23 radius circle around this thing. That means we need to go out. Or, yeah. Wait, no, not 23 radius. 23 diameter. Which means we need to go out 12 from here. So that's like 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, see, this is where this gets awkward here. Do we have any extra dirt here? Yeah, of course we do. 10, and then, yeah, there's 12. Boom. Look at that. Look, that marker that we put, like, a year ago actually is in the right place for the math we did today. Look at that. We're making amazing progress here. So, yeah, let's see. The 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. So then, boom, that's that radius. Should we have a beacon nearby? Probably. Didn't think there was going to be this much digging involved. But what can I say? I'm an optimist at heart. Maybe, actually, that might be the worms. Okay. So what we actually should have done is we should put the lanterns on the edge ones here. Boop. Just so we know for sure which one is the, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, there we go. And then we come out here. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. 10, 12. Okay, so this is where this gets weird here. I haven't figured out what we're doing with this river. I have not. Not usually the sort of thing I worry myself about. Vampires, now those guys love worrying about rivers. Super weird about rivers, vampires. How are we on storage units? Boom, look at that. Oh, hey, you know how we don't need like 90% of these torches? Well, that was 80% of them. We'll hold the other 10% in reserve. Yeah, so this is going to get weird over here. I haven't figured this part out either. Yeah. There we go. More blocks. Blocks for the block box. Doesn't the Beetlejuice voice hurt thy throat? Asks Sean. Well, you know what they say. Thick thigh throats save live throats. I don't know. I'm not actually alive, so that might not be applicable to me. I'm not really an expert on medical stuff. You know, they have all medical people love their acronyms and their little mnemonics. They're like, hey, do you want to remember which of these ventricles is this atrium? And I'm like, no. They put in a window so I could see in and out. I'll use reference points. It's fine. I don't need to know this. What would a Beetlejuice run season of HermitCraft look like? We'd have a lot more. Wait. We'd have a lot more musicians on the server. Let's get the party going. Yeah, really thinking a beacon might have been the appropriate tool for the job here, just as I'm looking at all this. Where is the nearest beacon to this? Is there a beacon up here by this portal? No, interestingly, there is not. There's a beacon over here. That's probably actually out of range, even if it did have a beacon on there, which it doesn't. Oh, no. It doesn't work with that on. Hold on. Oh, well, it didn't work then either. Stealth trident. Trident, that does not make noise. Stealth trident. It probably does make sense to just go get that beacon. Two, 4, 6, 8. $10 and $12. We are not doing great on block storage space in our inventorio here. Let's head back over to that shulker there. Get rid of this dirt and stone and grass and all that. Not doing a lot. Not really contributing to the narrative. Look at that. There's nothing you can't do when you strike at the sky with a shovel until you strike the face of God. I think one of the first Minecraft-related memes I ever saw on that new internet thing was like a Steve with like a little spiral or something. And it said, punch the sky until you strike the face of God. I love that. That's a great sentiment. You really want to lean into that. Hey, Nola, have a fantastic pork butt. Good luck with your meat processing there. Okay, so here's where we're at. We're gonna cut into here like so. Okay, so that's enough to give us a general gist of how big this area is. This platform is going to be about this high and about this big. Yep, that's going to be something. It sure is, okay. Yep, so the road's going to go along there, from there to whoosh, around there. Yep. Well, we'll get to that in the morning, I guess. That was plenty for one day. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. Thank you for unleashing the Beetlejuice to everybody who tipped. Appreciate you giving me something to do. Gets kind of boring and sitting around the museum all day. We got some great stuff coming for you in the museum. Don't get me wrong. But, like, man, it's just great to take to the sky and fly like one of those, what do you call them? Hairless eagles or whatever. Anyway, let's see what we got on the old following tab here. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Me clearing that fancy fly in here. Okay. Let's see. Who do we want to raid? A lot of these games I've never heard of. Oh, hey, it looks like Razor Randon is playing some Minecraft, so we're going to go ahead and mute that for one thing. I'm going to raid Razor Random at twitch.tv/Razor Randon. When you get over there, our raid message is how do y'all Beetlejuice raid here. Yeah, actually, I need a better raid message. You know, like, yeah, why am I just... Yeah, like, maybe we need, like, more spitting and burping or something. I don't... You know. Something more expressive. Yeah, I don't know. Let's... Man, we should have been workshopping this for the last 20 minutes. Anyway. Beetlejuice raid. Until next time, y'all, this is, Beetlejuice here from, Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Let's see, we're gonna slash, yeah, why are those so... Oh, this is on YouTube. Now I gotta hit all the... Ugh. Yeah, I gotta click a bunch of stuff or it won't end.